ballpark.
What is up, guys? What's going on? Episode 51 of the Bronx Nothing podcast. The last time, well, not the last time, we'll be talking about the 2023 season because we got a cool little segment, I guess you could say. We'll be on with NYYU tomorrow night with a bunch of the guys there talking about the season in full. If you guys didn't know, check out their Twitter account. We'll retweet it from ours. Just send in voicemails. We'll get in our full thoughts. If we miss anything here, we'll talk about it on there, definitely, for sure. Management, front office, players, their evaluations, what we thought about their years as Yankees, and we thought about the team as a whole. But we just want to do a quick episode real quick, talking about the 2023 season, talking about, I guess, a little bit of these last two series that just went on. But it's definitely a weird feeling for me, Kevin. I felt a couple different things today, kind of watching this Yankee game, because you know, a lot of people just weren't really tuned into it. There was no real excitement.
No.
82-80, the Yankees finish off 2023, Kevin. Their worst record since 1992. No playoffs in the Bronx, Kevin. It's October 1st. We're about to record this on October 2nd. It's October 1st, 11:58 p.m. And we're not talking about the Yankees roster in the playoffs. We're not talking about who's starting game 1, game 2, and game 3. We're not talking about any of that, Kevin. We're talking about how much of a failure, unfortunately, this season was for the Yankees, Kevin. There was a little bit of good we've got from the season, but all in all, you missed the playoffs. You missed the playoffs. You don't make it to the World Series, it's a failure, but you missed the playoffs.
It's a complete, utter
absolute
failure.
Disaster. Yep.
Yeah. The worst of the worst.
Yep.
I mean, I was going to just add to what you were saying that when the Yankees are not playing playoff baseball in October, it's just an awkward, not like we like to say, it just doesn't feel right. You know, I mean, I posted that tweet earlier of my son. That last game we went to, a completely empty stadium. The vibes were just like what has been this year, right? It's been a complete letdown. You're in LCS last year. Yes, we got swept. But sometimes people say that stuff like that carries over to the next year, and it kind of, I guess, did with how the clubhouse was. I never felt a spark except when The Martian came up, honestly, this whole year. Even though we started off pretty good, and Judge was right back where he left off.
Had the excitement of Volpe as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's fair to mention. We were very excited about that because he won the
Correct.
job out of spring training. But
looking back, there was nothing like. Now that I think about it, it was nothing that. I mean, again, we everybody agreed that left field needed to be addressed. The catching position was a little short on a little to be nice on offense. So there were some holes that the Yankees had to take care of, and they didn't. So a lot of Yankee fans, rightfully so, were skeptical beginning of the year. And I don't think anybody would have, like Cashman said, I don't think anybody thought this team wasn't a playoff team. But I didn't see this team not making the playoffs either. But I wasn't too great. So even if we do make the playoffs, what is going to happen? But again, you had the trade deadline, and then nothing happened there. No guys were moved. There's so much going on this year. I don't think we need to go back to every single moment, but while I'm trying to speak as slow as I can, my mind is just going in circles of how absurd it is to not be playing playoff baseball in the Bronx. And unfortunately, as much as we can say that Judge got hurt, if Judge would have been here, there's too many ifs. We can't just say that if Judge is here. If Judge is not here, we're not making the playoffs. You should be able to survive and be a decent team without Judge, and be an extraordinary or a World Series caliber team with Judge, right? So we can't just say Judge is not in here. Oh, we're done. We're out of the playoffs. That doesn't work that way, right? So, Yeah, man, I'm more sad than anything else, honestly. But yeah, man. Now, if you want to let's go into Toronto. We're just gonna. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, one thing before we go into Toronto quick. I wanted to make this point. If you guys don't follow Addison on Twitter, drop him a follow. He
Oh,
brought up a
shout out to
tweet
Addison.
about the Houston Astros. The first statement that he made on that tweet, the first bullet point, I believe it was how Jose Altuve missed 72 games this year, I believe it was. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I know he missed plenty of time because of what happened. I believe it was in WBC, I want to say.
Yeah.
Got hit by a pitch, I believe it was, something like that. He missed all that time. And you could say the Rangers choke, whatever it was. The Astros still get a first round bye with all these guys that missed all this time. Jordan was hurt for a period of time. They had a disaster. Verlander wasn't even at his best. Hunter Brown,
You got Verlander for half of the season. Verlander wasn't even there for the first season, for the first half.
But they found a way to win a division, and they get a first round bye.
Which is huge for them.
90 and 72. They had Javier throwing today, too, a guy that could have possibly thrown in the wild card series. But they figure out a way. Whatever you could say, whatever about Texas. But you see the AL this year. Obviously, you know, Baltimore, you got them there. You got a couple of really good teams. Baltimore's still a young team.
Yep.
You don't know what they're going to be like in the playoffs. Maybe the Brights are too light. They got a couple of good players over there. They're going to be good for a long time. And it's scary with the Yankees right now because obviously you got a couple young kids that showed some promise, but you don't really know what's going to happen. The quotes from Judge, we'll get into that real quick. But before that, I wanted to get into just some games in the series. I don't really want to talk about the Kansas City series too much because nothing really happened in that series. But we'll go to the first two games against Toronto. Game 1 was Gausman versus King. And again, just like how they pitched a week before, King and Gausman matched zeros throughout the game. The only thing about King is he had 5 walks, but he had 5 strikeouts, gave us 6 innings.
Mm-hmm.
He was phenomenal, and the only offense that the Yankees got in that game, single from Glaber in the 9th, and then Austin Wells, Oppo shot off. I believe it was an All-Star this year again, off Jordan Romano. Gave the Yankees the 2-0 win there. Brito out of the bullpen was phenomenal. 2 innings there, only gave up a hit, and Clay Holmes shut the door.
Yeah,
so
and just about that, since you mentioned Austin Wells, that is one bright spot. Towards the end of his call-up, he's looked a lot better offensively, which that was a big – we were starting to scratch our heads like, man, it's just taking Austin – his bat is the number one thing that they want him there for catching because we can't see the struggles of throwing guys out. But towards the end now, his bat has come alive, and it gives us a lot of hope for next year.
OPS, I believe, finished Kevin at 724. I want to
WRC plus around 92, I think.
Okay, so we definitely need that out of the catching position. You gotta believe Trevino will be back, so you'll think it'll be Trevino and Wells.
And maybe Trevino can help him out with some of that. So let's see.
I mean, listen, I don't want to look too far ahead, but you gotta believe the Yankees will make big enough changes to be in the playoffs next year. You can't really have, if Austin Wells is your best hitting catcher, do you want him to sit because Garrett Cole is not comfortable with him beyond the plate? So hopefully Chirino could work with Wells, get him a little bit better defensively. But honestly, if you look at Wells overall, Kevin, I don't know about you. We can get our thoughts real quick on Wells. We'll dive deep into it more tomorrow, but on Pete Simonetti's show with NYU. But all in all, he was better defensively than I thought.
Correct? Yes, okay, so I can agree with you on that. His glove was something that we're talking about when he was in his time during the minors. His arm, they were always a little unsure there, and it's clear that, he's having some troubles throwing some guys out, but you can work around that eventually. That being said, it is good, too, to see that his glove is better than what we expected, right? I mean, you don't want another Gary Sanchez situation, so... that being said, I don't know if the Yankees go out there and look for the catching position right now. I mean, Trevino coming back, and I heard people talking about, but what about Ben? Listen, Trevino was catching Cole in the beginning of the year. I don't see Cole saying, no, I don't want. He started off phenomenal. I think he went 7-6-0, something like that, right? So with Trevino. So, I don't want to hear that he can't pitch to Trevino. Trevino could be his own, like, we got to carry three catches, or is Ben staying? No, man, I'm sorry. Ben's bat is so bad that we can't have him just once a week, twice a week, sometimes just to catch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can't have that. Speaking about Ben, let's go to game 2. Ben Rortvedt behind the plate, catching Garrett Cole. We'll get to Cole in a second, but Judge with a 2-run shot. He had his two
That's it.
homer game in this game. Yankees won this game 6-0. They actually intentionally walked him in the fifth, and they walked Glaber again. And Sen had a big hit. I guess that'll make him feel a little bit better going into 2024. Definitely need a big bounce back out of him. They
Huge.
mentioned a stat. They mentioned a stat. I think Michael K mentioned that his averages against fastballs was really bad this year compared to last year. I guess it was like pitches over 95 miles per hour, which makes you worry a little bit. But hoping Big G can get it together. But this game was about Aaron Judge, Kevin. 2 homers in this game, and it was also about the guy on the mound. He finished off which should be his Cy Young season very strong, Kevin. 15-4 should have been a 20-game winner. 2.63 ERA, WHIP under 1. He went 9 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts. And listen, if you want to get over the top with it, we've spoken about this, Kevin, me and you on the side. If he's ever gonna get a perfect game or no hitter as a Yankee, which honestly, that I'm hoping for that. We'll be able to see that one day at the stadium. I don't think he's gonna do it striking out 12 guys. It's gonna have to be like this kind of game, pitching to contact, getting early ground balls, early fly balls. I think that's the best way he's gonna get it. But I mean, if he gets it, he gets it. It's really hard to get one of those. Even though we saw one this year, it's hard to do. But I mean, anything else you gotta say about Garrett Cole this year, Kevin? I mean, he was phenomenal for the New York Yankees. Honestly, the only bright spot we had this season.
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, Garrett Cole is the one thing that you can look back on 2023 and say, wow, what a year, what a performance. Unfortunately, the Yankees couldn't continue and take his hot streak to the playoffs. And he had his issues with run support. And that's something that the Yankees have to figure out. We can't go into next year having that. Your ace should not have to be having a hold or be scoreless on 6 and 7 every single game. And he was pretty much that for a long time. Right. And I know he ran into a bit of a stretch. I think it was in the middle of the year when he had that I think it was Orioles and then Tampa Bay, like the back-to-back rough starts.
Yeah,
But
he had the really bad start in Tampa where he gave up the grand slam to Betancourt. That's a start that I remember. That we wish he
which
people
I
get upset with Boone, but
which I
we're not
believe
taking
people
him
said
out.
that. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah. So,
And listen, that is a good conversation to have. With baseball guys, because I'm one of the type of person today in a day and age you don't see a lot of guys going 7 and 8 or 6 is like
6 is like
six a pitcher going 6 innings in today's game is like the 90s, a pitcher going 7 and 8. Think about it that way. A guy going 7, 8 innings is like, wow. But no, that used to be the norm back in the day, man. A guy would go 6 1/3, 6 2/3, and 7 innings, complete games where aces would throw at least 2 complete games. At least 5, complete games a year, 5, 6, 7 complete games a year. You don't see that anymore. Cole has 2, I think, right, this year? So it's like
the one against the Twins and now this one. So
and I would love to see that more. And you got to pick your guys to do it. And I think guys like Cole should earn that right, 100%.
obviously, as fans, Kevin, me and you, we love pitching. We love strikeouts, obviously. But if you can give us, I mean, you're not.
I mean, if you're a Yankee fan, you have to love strikeouts. If not, you're gonna.
Yeah. We see too many. We see too many out of the offense. But when it just comes to Garrett Cole, man, guy's a workhorse. Definitely the Yankees will give him the extra year, so he'll be back next year. He doesn't have the option.
Clear that up, because I've been in some spaces, and I mean, I'll just go ahead and say I've been in some spaces. People still think that Cole can leave. If the Yankees tag on that extra year for the 36 million, Cole stays. And there's
it ends up being a 10-year deal.
Correct, and there's no reason the Yankees shouldn't do that.
Because listen, maybe this is, I don't know, on an open market, Kevin, I think he can get upwards to $45 million right now if he really wanted to. I mean, the guy's gonna win the Cy Young, and people need pitching, and the guy is, knock on wood, he's always on the mound, always takes the ball. Also, did not miss one start this year.
Correct.
Made all 32 starts, so super impressive from him. The Yankees won that game.
Clap it up for Cole.
Finishes 15-4. Yep, only bright spot in our season. All right, let's go to Game 3. Luke Weaver was not great in this game. I mean, he battled. He went 4 innings. I don't want to say not great. He was fine. Went 4 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. Weiser got hit around a bit. McAllister gave up the dagger to Brandon Belt. That gave the Blue Jays a 6-0 lead. My cousin came in, Gomez. He came in. He threw 2 innings.
Joendry Gomez.
2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks,
Man,
4 strikeouts.
Mario, Yankees prospect pitching is looking pretty nice.
They always figure out a way. Pitching is never the problem, Kevin. Bullpen arms. They figure it out. They send Brito down there, and he's just nasty out of the bullpen. So the Yankees always figure out a way. What we need to figure out, Kevin, is our bats. Yankees lose this game, get shut down by Chris Bassett, but the only really thing to highlight in that game
which I believe was going a no-hitter almost into the 5th, which the Yankees, Rye Guy, and I love Rye Guy, leave a voicemail tomorrow if you can. He always has some clutch stats. I think he said, I forgot how many games the Yankees had been no-hit to the 5th inning. And I'm gonna get that stat for you guys. It's absurd. And the Yankees almost got another one tagged on, but Glaber, I believe, had a hit in the 4th. So that doesn't.
It's crazy how many times we hear this. The Yankees are getting no hit through 5. Like it's.
Yeah.
I mean, does it happen to every other team, or is it just the Yankees? It has to be just the Yankees. There's no way.
There's no way it's happening to anybody else. Only us.
So that was the series for the Toronto series. Like, we didn't do a video for that, so we decided we were gonna recap it here.
But we went in there and we planted our banner because the one thing that we said that we didn't want is I didn't want to hear DC my house, and champagne being thrown.
Celebrate.
And you didn't celebrate with the Yankees there, brother. I'm sorry. Go celebrate somewhere else.
Okay. They did end up celebrating though. They're
of
going
course.
to the playoffs, and we're watching from our couch. So, but I get you. You like drinking other people's tears. You don't want them. Once they lose, you'll be there on Twitter trolling. I get it, Kevin. I don't really want to recap game 2 or game 3. We got to recap game 1 because this is for our future. Yankees lose this game 12-5 Friday night. Our guy Pete tweeted out he needed Rodon to shove in the start, and he did the opposite of that. Did not record an out. Walked 2 guys, 6 hits, 8 runs, no strikeouts. Kevin, he finished 3-8 record with a 6.85 ERA. And before we get into that real quick, the quotes from him as a human, the way I see it, him saying that he has to get away from everybody. He can't be he's not going to be with his family. He's just going to go somewhere, be alone by himself. I wonder, is the guy like okay in the head? I know he's making all his money, and a lot of people think, we shouldn't feel bad from Kevin, but you see those quotes from this guy, and he's going to be with us for the next couple of years. So you worry, is that something that maybe the guy should check on him or just leave him alone, or like what does that make you think that's going on in his head?
I read some of the quotes, and honestly, I heard a lot of accountability. I mean, I believe he was saying, of course, I mean, these guys are going to be paying me $27 million, or paying me $20+ million, so I have to, and that's a no-brainer, right? But what you just said just tells me that maybe he was a bit unfocused on top of trying to get on the mound quick, right? Maybe some of the things that he normally does, maybe he skipped some corners thinking he was all right to do so. But this is the MLB. This is the major leagues. And you cut corners, it'll show. And I believe in his performance, you can tell that there were nights where he was not there. And I never seen a starting pitcher go from one outing throwing 98, 99, and another outing throwing 95, 96. Like his fastball wasn't there. And for him to be effective, his fastball needs to be there. That is just who Rodon is. But this year he had a bunch of starts, Mary, where his fastball was 95, 96, maybe 96, 95, 94. And when you know he can throw 98, right? So that worries me, right? But when I look at the whole year, it is a failure. He's going to be here for another 5. And like he said, he has time to make up for it. I'm telling you this. If he shoves an ALCS and the Yankees move on to the World Series and he shows up in the World Series, the Yankees win, or even if the Yankees unfortunately lose, but he shows up, believe me, people won't even give a shit about this year. The best thing that happened to him, for him, not for us fans, but the best thing that happened to Rodon this year was that the Yankees were trash. So this could be a wash year for everybody, including himself.
I mean, you look at the stars against Kansas City, Kevin. This team ended the season with 100+ losses. I think that's why fans are upset, and I think it's just, unfortunately, it's like poetic for it to end that way. You know, he rushed back. A lot of people saying that he's, Carl Pavano, all this kind of stuff, and I know that makes you upset or whatever. But
it doesn't make me upset. It's just premature.
Okay, which I understand, because you say Carl Pavano didn't want to take the ball. Rodon wants to be out there. Clearly, the quotes during spring training, the guy wants to be there. There's just some stuff that does not sit well with fans, like blowing kisses and stuff like that, and then showing up Matt Blake or whatever. And he apologized about that.
That I will give you. That is one thing that I don't know what's going on there. It could be frustration with himself, but one thing you shouldn't do is show off Matt. I mean, that is the worst start of his career. So he was literally in the worst moment of his career at that moment. So maybe he didn't want to hear anything. He thought maybe he could figure it out himself. That being said, when you look at it in hindsight, and I'm pretty sure he knows about it, I mean, somebody should sit down and tell him if he doesn't. Matt Blake is a wizard. And what he does with some pitchers when you bring him over to the Yankees and converts them to the guys, the Wandy Peralta, the Trevino, the guys that had a 4.56 ERA and come to the Yankees and have a 3.2 ERA, I think you better listen to that guy. And that was one thing that really bothered me, was showing up Matt Blake. What people are saying about Kansas City, and listen, I get he got cracked. I mean, he got completely wrecked that game. That's fine. But like I said, when if he shows up again in October and continues to give you 20+ starts for the next 4 or 5 seasons, nobody's going to remember the season. They're going to look back and laugh. When Cole got wrecked in a wild card in Fenway, what were people saying about Cole? Now listen, I'm not comparing the two as pitchers. Come on, because I'm just saying, what was the fan base saying about Cole? You can remember it because I know you have 100 bookmarks of it.
No, and yes, that's how I am. And also, Kevin, you got to realize the way the Yankee season has gone. You got to expect that reaction out of fans, I guess, at this point, because it's the last start of the season. I know you're not disagreeing, but what I'm saying is the way the season has gone, the Yankees underperformed to the max. We don't care about winning seasons. The Yankees, number one, should always be in the playoffs and should always be competing for a World Series. It's not about making the wild card or making the ALDS. You want to get to the World Series. Haven't been to the World Series since 2009. Now going on 14 years. And I don't want to pin this. Listen, I was going to say this. I don't want to pin this on Judge. He probably takes it to heart too himself because it's his first year as captain, right? He missed a lot of time, which obviously freak injury, Dodger Stadium. I don't think it's ever happened to anybody else. But he misses that time, and he's the one that has to stand in front of the media. Obviously, the other guys will have to answer questions too on certain days.
But
Judge, he's the captain. He's got to answer for everybody else. He's the one that's going to go meet with Hal Steinbrenner and Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman.
And tell him his ideas.
Down in Tampa and tell him his ideas. And do you want to get into those quotes right now? Well, we're already here, so let's get into those quotes right now. Basically, he says, that's what he said about the Yankees analytics department. I think the analytics side, that the information and the resources the Yankees provide are great, but it's how we use them, it's how we value them, an aspect that we maybe need to look at again. A lot of people are saying that means
that is just echoing what me and you and a lot of fans have been saying for a while. We are not against. I've never been against analytics, but I don't know if when I say this, maybe you remember.
You're at a loss for words, Kevin.
No. I get it. No, what I was gonna say is they said it from the get that the Yankees were old, slow, and a home run or bust hitting team. They said those 3 things from the beginning of the year. One of the oldest teams in baseball. We were unathletic, slow, and we're home run or bust. That was said. I'm gonna get you guys the name of the writer who said it from the beginning, right? And again, a lot of us felt that way, right? Because we ran it back. It felt like we saw the same guys after the ALCS. Don't tell me Jake Bowers is different. Don't tell me McKinney is different. Don't tell me Franchi Cordero or Willie Calhoun, the banger, are the guys that were supposed to save the Yankees in 2023. That's not what I want to hear. Let's stop shopping at the clearance rack, and let's get guys that are known players, or like we said during the trade deadline, stop evaluating your prospects and trade them. Yep. Make up your mind.
Guys. Yep, 100%. That was the problem at the trade deadline we had with the Yankees. You got to go one way or the other. Either you're gonna buy or you're gonna sell, and you guys were here for our reaction. As the time kept going, people were wondering, what are the Yankees gonna do? You see all these left fielders go out. Are we at least gonna get a left fielder? The Yankees pull off a last minute, like it just the way my head spins, Kevin. Like your head goes around in circles thinking about it. Everything that's happened with the Yankees this season, it's been crazy. You look at the Domingo Germán thing. The guy threw a perfect game. Then that's the stuff that happened, off the field and in the clubhouse. It's just been a disaster. Garrett Cole was the only guy that put everything together. Even like Judge had a great season offensively, Kevin, and defensively, but he missed so much time. Gleyber Torres, the K rate is down, the walk rate is up, right? And then the miscues in the field and the base running. It's like you can't win with anybody this year besides Garrett Cole. So yeah, that was pretty much the Yankee season. All in all, before we get into anything else, Kevin, I got this graphic up right here. The Yes Network posted this. The pending free agents for the New York Yankees: Severino, Peralta, Montas, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and Keenan Middleton. Any of those guys you want to bring back, possibly want to bring back, or you just not interested?
Middleton.
Frankie might come back. You saw him pitch. I think the Yankees pretty much Jack Curry said.
Who saw him pitch? You saw him pitch?
He put out a tweet.
You saw him pitch?
He did pitch on Saturday.
I turned my TV off.
Clark Schmidt. A lot of Yankee fans didn't even turn it on, so I don't blame you. I'm one of those sick people that turn.
Listen, I think the guy they bring back is Frankie. I think they're gonna move on from Sevy.
And Wandy and IKF. But
even though Mario, yeah, because you don't pay relievers, and Wandy may get a slightly better deal or a much better deal somewhere else. Like you said, though, there's not much on the lefty side of relievers, though, and I don't want to see Nick Ramirez here again. I will flip this fucking table. So that being said, I don't know what the Yankees are gonna do, but we need a lefty reliever. So I don't know if they bring back Wandy. I wouldn't count on it, but if I had to place money on it, like on a parlay, I think they bring back Middleton and Montas from there. Who do I want? Probably Middleton. Middleton looks solid. I mean, he got hit against a team that sees him well, which is Kansas City. Saw him well with the White Sox, stuff like that. So I don't doubt that he'll be solid again if the Yankees bring him back. So that being said, Mario, I mean, I don't know if you want to go through some. I mean, listen, Garrett Cole was the best part of the 2023 season, but there's some good takeaways still. I mean, King looks really good as a starter, right?
He gave up the long ball today, but
he's
definitely gonna be a starter going into next year. We don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, unless a trade happens, which I don't think is gonna happen with him. If they are gonna deal a starter, probably gonna be Clark Schmidt. I'm sure you guys have heard us say that a million times. But yeah, my biggest thing with the Yankees going into next year, Kevin, is you got to get creative. Bellinger, some of the quotes from him in Chicago, don't really know where his mind is, where his heart is. Does he love Chicago? His dad was a former Yankee. Is he willing to come to the Yankees? Do the pinstripes mean anything to him? I don't know, maybe a little bit, but would he take less money to come here? I don't know. A lot of the free agents, nothing's really like, oh my God, like the Yankees need. Matt Chapman, I'd stay away from him, me personally, but I don't know. The Yankees I think they're gonna try to trade one of the infielders at the end of the day. So it wouldn't make sense getting Matt Chapman to play third when you got DJ LeMahieu that could play there, Peraza that could play there.
Well, also there's some uncertainties that again we start to look at, which I don't like, right? I don't like even to think about is Rizzo going to be anything close to what he was,
A
right?
lot of question marks going in next year.
You have that. Also, like you said, the one guy that I still and I will always praise for the Yankees to get is Jeimer Candelario. He plays the corners. If Rizzo's not 100%, him and DJ could split time with when one's on third, one's on first. That being said, I still think if that happens, if they get Jeimer, then they might move Glaber, but that's another issue, right? And I know it's hard for you to talk about is Gleyber Torres. What do the Yankees do with Gleyber? I'm the type of guy that says, do I want to extend them? That makes 100%. I 100% want to extend them. I mean, there is no output that's going to give me offensively on second base right now that is not Gleyber Torres. Mention me somebody, Peraza. You really think Peraza is going to give you what Glaber's giving you offensively? Of course the glove is there. If we're going to sit here and talk about that, but when you give somebody certainty, when you give somebody a nice 5-year deal, well, now Glaber said, my bat is good. I'm going to keep working what I'm doing on that, but now I'm going to add defense into it, and he could get better defensively. It's happened. It's not like it hasn't happened before, and he doesn't have to be a gold glove defensive second baseman. Get that shit out of your guy's head. Whoever thinks that, get it out of your head. He just has to be average defensively. That's it. Which is he is below average right now, and he does dumb mistakes. So That being said, if the Yankees are not going to keep him, then I think you should trade him. Why would you just run it unless
don't let him walk for nothing.
Unless, hear me out, Mario. Unless the Yankees trade for Soto, you get Yamamoto, and you go all in with the chips this year. I'm okay with them getting Soto. And then if you're going to say, we're going to run it with Gleyber, we're going to see what happens at the end of the year. You add Soto, you keep Gleyber, you have to add Yamamoto because I'm pretty sure King is going to go on that deal or Schmidt. You can't just trust that Nestor Cortez is going to be who he was. Yeah, and if we're putting money on that, that is a big uncertainty as well. So, that being said, Soto, Yamamoto, that rhymed. And I still want Candy. Theo Candy.
I know you've been
I just don't trust
Candy advocate.
I just don't trust Rizzo to be 100%.
Which I completely understand. And listen, I wanted to mention this one.
And Candy's a guy you can flip in the trade deadline. So
if you get him for cheap, but a lot of teams will be interested. Had a pretty good year this year. I wanted to mention this about Juan Soto. Guy played 162 games this year. Did not miss one game this year. And all the Yankee fans talk about, I want guys that can stay on the field. I mean, the guy's going to give you, 40-plus homers at Yankee Stadium? He'll give you average defense.
No, don't even give him. Yeah, he'll probably give you 40-plus in Yankee Stadium. But let's say he gives the same thing he did this year, 30-plus. But he gets on base at a 420 clip.
Would lead us in RBIs, by the way, if you look at the stats right now. But some Yankee fans don't want him for some weird reason.
I don't know why they would not want one of the greatest baseball players of all time right now. If you look at his first 5 years in the major leagues, compare him to any MLB great. Anybody. Not only is he, and again, if I hear defense one more time, I'm gonna flip this table. You guys have been, everybody has been crying about the offense, and you can't look. You're not gonna find a guy who hits 50 home runs, 100 RBIs, and is a Gold Glover. That shit doesn't happen. You got Trout, you got Ronald, you got like 3 guys in the league that could do that. I'm sorry. So it's like you're not gonna find that every other day.
Evan, before we go, I want 2 predictions from you. I think that's fair. 2 really bold predictions from you for what's going to happen this offseason. The Yankee season just ended, right? I think they have a head start. I know they have a head start ahead of a lot of other teams that are in the playoffs. 3 AL East teams are in there. Give me two bold predictions for the offseason, what the Yankees are going to do, whether it's fire somebody, trade for somebody, sign somebody. Give me.
I like you said that because I was going to give you two roster moves, but now that you said that, my predictions are that the Yankees will sign Yamamoto, and Fishman will be fired.
Okay, that's fair. Those are like your. If you had both, like those are like your locks. You feel like.
I think that Yeah, I think that Fishman will be the sacrificial lamb of the Yankees after their their audit.
Yep.
Yeah, so I 100% think that he's the guy that's going to be gone. I mean, he is the guy that Cashman put in charge of the analytics department, and that was being heavily scrutinized right now. So yes, that's what I think. And I don't know. I have a feeling of Yamamoto come to the Yankees. I mean, don't again. I don't know. Maybe I dreamed about it.
We'll see. We'll
What
see
are
what
yours?
happens,
I gotta
Kevin.
hear yours now.
Um,
The Yankees extend Glaber, and
it's I think the Yankees will trade Glaber. I think this is finally the year.
you're gonna say that? That's gonna be one of your
Yeah.
takes. Oh damn.
No, yeah.
Okay.
I really do think it's the year now. I think they just kind of want new faces. Judge is gonna talk to them. Obviously, they're buddies, been buddies for a while. But I think not that I would move on from Glaber, but the Yankees expect Peraza to have a better year next year. They expect Volpe to have a better year next year. Glaber didn't have a lot of RBIs. They think they can get that production out of somebody else or close to it. They think, not I think. They think they can get that out of somebody else. So I'll say they'll trade Glaber this offseason because this is the highest his value is ever going to be. They're not going to give him up at the All-Star break. They wouldn't trade a guy when they're in the middle of a pennant race when he's going to be probably one of their best bats next year. So they'll do it in the offseason, especially he had the post on Instagram, which was kind of weird, saying the future is uncertain, which he's right. You don't know about the future ever, so we'll see about that. And my second, I think the Yankees will make a run at Blake Snell. I think the Yankees will make a run at Blake Snell. They'll try.
I can agree to that, but I think their number one target is Yamamoto. If they miss on that, then Snell will be a heavy second.
I think a lot of teams will be going after Yamamoto. I know Aaron Nola is going to be a candidate for starting pitching that teams are going to look at. I don't know. They might. I think they need that. They already have a lefty in Carlos Rodon, but I think they'll go after Snell. Especially, I think he's going to win the Cy Young this year. But you said a bold prediction, so
No, yeah, I mean,
everybody says Yamamoto. I could definitely see Blake Snell being a Yankee, but we'll see.
yeah, I mean, and that being said, there's a lot that the Yankees, even though it doesn't seem like it, but there's much they could do. I feel like the Yankees are in very good position, especially with prospects, where they can move some guys or bundle some guys in there. Schmidt looked fine as well, like of MLB ready starter. So a lot of teams need pitching. The Yankees could definitely close the gap on that. I mean, the Yankees is clear that they need hitting. I mean, I really like Cody Bellinger because you can plug him in that first base slot if Rizzo's not ready. Or in the future, once Rizzo's gone, then Cody can be the first baseman, right? And Martian is going to be here. You get that. If they don't trade anybody, Spencer Jones will be up in a few years too. So that being said, Cody makes the best sense because he's a free agent and it's easy to move. But if the Padres are listening to Soto deals, there is nobody that should be on that phone more than Brian Cashman. Soto just makes too much sense for New York.
Brian Cashman's got to get creative. That's my biggest thing. Got to get creative with this. There's not a lot of free agents that I feel like. I know Judge is going to give his list or whatever coming up this week, but you got to really just make some.
Judge's list
that's what it is
going to be Soto.
I mean, Kevin, I hope it is. We hope it is. Everybody hopes it is because I don't think Cashman or Boone are getting fired. I don't think that's really a bold prediction. I think everybody pretty much knows that they'll be back. If one is fired, we'll do something. We'll do an episode on it real quick because that would be a shocker to all of us.
Arise? If Glaber gets traded? Is it lefty?
Yeah. Miami wouldn't trade him. He'll be in the playoffs, and he's loved by those fans there. But
no, I mean, if they get Glaber, if the trade is to Miami, I don't know.
Yeah, they wouldn't trade him. The Yankees probably want a controllable arm for Glaber, but
yeah, you're sure.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. 186 days now, so 6 months until we.
I'll go by quick. Just to think about it short. Thanksgiving is around the corner. Holidays, right? Then right after that, we're planning our trip to Tampa, which will be swell. We're going out there with the NYU fam. So we'll be in Tampa. Once we're in Tampa, it already feels good. You're not even thinking about you're thinking about opening day, but the gap is so much shorter when you start already.
Yeah, shorter.
When you're in Tampa, right?
No, 100%. And I think as much as I miss the Yankees and I'll probably tweet about it a million times a day, I feel like we all kind of maybe this was a good thing that happened this year. This was an eye opener for the organization. That's what you gotta hope, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe missing. And listen, I love going to the Bronx for the playoffs. We all love watching the Yankees because at the end of the day, we all want them to win a World Series. That is the end goal. But maybe this is a good thing. Them missing out on the playoffs. Maybe a lot of things will change. Maybe nothing will change. That's the scary part. Are they just gonna blame injuries? Is it just gonna be Judge got hurt, would have been in the playoffs, the crapshoot, or Judge? They actually listen to what Judge is gonna say, what Cole's gonna say. Most likely, I don't know if he's gonna go down there to Tampa to talk with Hal, but I think that his input is needed. He's a leader on this team. He gives a lot of these guys help when it comes to pitching. Even though Luke Weaver might not be here next year, you see the videos with Weaver, him on the bench, teaching them certain grips and stuff like that. So. I mean, we'll
I definitely
happens,
think that if they need some input from players, it should be between them two.
100%, the leaders of the team, without a doubt. You look at those two; those are the leaders of the team. But I don't know, Kev. It's
we didn't address this. I mean, if we end up, we'll see how the response that we get. We ask you guys as well to comment or DM us if you guys want. I feel like maybe we can do one more show when it comes to when the dust is settled. And there's some rumors and some rumblings. We can do one more because we didn't really talk about Giancarlo, how negative he has been, and the Yankees. It's just bad right now. But we'll eventually talk about that. That's a whole nother 5 minutes on Giancarlo.
No, 100%. We'll do another episode on that. I think I want to wait till after this week because I think there might be something going on, maybe with firings or something this week. The Yankees are gonna put out an article that they're going another direction
after the audit.
But yeah. We'll see what happens. But listen, I want to thank you guys so much. I can't believe we actually did
51. Bernie Williams.
51 episodes of the Bronx or Nothing, man. Didn't know what this would become. Obviously, it's been a tough season, but for real, I really thank you guys for always listening. And I know it's been a real tough watch this year, but Kevin and I, thank you guys. We got lives too, but we love coming on here and talking about the Yankees. That's what we enjoy. Sir. That's what we love. But you guys know what's up next. We'll be with NYYU. We'll be there with Pete. It's gonna be exciting. We're excited to be on there tomorrow to talk. For
Nights at the Round Table. It's gonna be you. It's gonna be us, Pete, Hector from the Morning Brew, from NYYST as well from the podcast. Those guys will be on there. We'll all be on there tomorrow night, discussing some Yankees recap and what possibilities could be. Rumors, who do you want, who you don't want, what's going on. A lot of fun stuff, man. I mean, listen, it's going to be boring for a few days. It's going to be weird, awkward, right? We don't see what time the Yankees are playing, who's pitching, and who are they going to take to the postseason roster. But at least you guys can watch Josh Donaldson.
Okay, Kevin. Listen, actually, before we leave, real quick. World Series prediction, Kevin. World Series, real quick.
Huh?
Real quick. World Series prediction.
Oh, Milwaukee Brewers.
Milwaukee Brewers, okay.
Milwaukee Brewers.
All right. I guess the Milwaukee Brewers are winning, but now let's leave on a happy note.
That'll just be the fucking cherry on top for us fucking Yankee fans. Is Josh fucking Donaldson gets a ring.
Milwaukee Brewers take it in 7 over the Baltimore Orioles. You see Hicks in the dugout like this. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching episode 51. If you watched all 51 episodes, man, we really appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man.
Even if this is your first time here, thank you guys so much. We appreciate the love. We'll be back.
Yes.
Yo, drop the heat tomorrow. Voicemails, comments, questions, whatever you guys want. We'll drop the link. I'll retweet it. Kevin will retweet it. We'll be there tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Excited. Hoping for change with the Yankees, man. Hoping next year.
It's a live show too, so you guys could. I was gonna say, Mary, it's a live show too, so you guys can chat and stuff like that, and let us know on Rip what you guys want us to talk about. So it'll be cool.
Yep. All right, yo. Thank you guys so much. For supporting us. We appreciate it. We'll see y'all soon again. Let's go Yankees.
Vámonos Yankees.